The street was a twisted labyrinth of shadows, and I was lost within it. It was a cold, moonless night, and the only light came from the flickering street lamps that barely pierced the darkness. I had taken a wrong turn, and now found myself in a desolate, eerie place that seemed to defy logic. My footsteps echoed ominously on the deserted cobblestone street, creating a haunting soundtrack to my solitude. The wind whispered through the narrow alleys, carrying with it an unsettling chill that seemed to seep into my bones. I couldn't help but glance over my shoulder, half expecting to see something lurking in the shadows. As I walked further, I became aware of a peculiar sensation. The feeling of being watched. I turned around again, my heart pounding, but there was no one there. Just the empty, dimly lit street, stretching endlessly ahead. I reached for my phone to call for help, or at least check the time, but to my dismay, the battery had died. Panic began to gnaw at the edges of my mind, threatening to consume me. I quickened my pace, desperate to escape this claustrophobic nightmare. The street seemed to twist and contort, its layout shifting like a living, breathing entity. It was as if the very geography of the place conspired against me, leading me further into its web of darkness. I had no choice but to keep walking. Then a low, guttural growl echoed through the night. It was the kind of sound that chilled me to the core, a primal warning that sent shivers down my spine. I froze, straining to identify the source, but all I could see were the ominous shadows that clung to the buildings. I forced myself to move forward, each step heavier than the last. The growling continued, growing louder and more menacing. I couldn't tell where it was coming from, and that uncertainty only fueled my fear. As I turned another corner, I stumbled upon an abandoned building, an old, decrepit structure that loomed over me like a sinister sentinel. It was then that I noticed the shattered windows and broken doors, as if something had torn through the building from the inside. I knew I had to get away from this place, but my path seemed to lead me directly towards the looming building. The growling had now escalated into a bone-chilling roar, and I could hear heavy, uneven footsteps drawing closer. I had no choice but to seek refuge in the abandoned building. As I stepped inside, the temperature plummeted and the air grew thick with an acrid, otherworldly scent. The walls were adorned with strange symbols and grotesque paintings that seemed to writhe and twist in the dim light. My heart pounded in my chest as I ventured deeper into the building. The growling outside grew louder, and I knew that whatever pursued me was now at the entrance. I was trapped. In the depths of the building, I discovered a hidden chamber, a room devoid of any windows or doors. The symbols on the walls grew more intricate, and the air seemed to pulse with an unholy energy. It was then that I realized I was not alone. A figure shrouded in darkness materialized before me. Its eyes gleamed with malevolence, and its voice echoed in my mind. "You were never meant to escape," it whispered, its words filled with a chilling finality. I tried to run to escape the room, but the wall seemed to close in around me, and the figure drew nearer, its presence suffocating. I was trapped in this nightmarish place, my fate sealed by forces beyond my comprehension. As the growling outside reached a deafening crescendo, I knew that I would never again see the light of day. The empty, creepy street had claimed me as its own, and I was condemned to wander its twisted, eternal maze, forever haunted by the shadows and the sinister growling that echoed through the night.